You know, for the last couple of years, the word FinTech has pretty much meant turbulence. But now, halfway through 2025, something's definitely in the air. That quiet hum of activity, it's starting to sound more like a roar. So what's the real story? Let's look at what the data is telling us about the state of FinTech today.
So that brings us to the big question, right? The one everyone's been asking. After that long, cold period of doubt and, let's be honest, shrinking investments, is the so-called FinTech winter finally over? Let's unpack the evidence together and see if spring has really sprung.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. We're going to start with the big picture, then zoom right in on the tech trends in a really interesting company before pulling back out to see what it all means for what's coming next. Let's dive in.
All right, first up, let's talk about the market itself. The first big clue that things are heating up? Deal-making. After a long, quiet spell, it is back in a big way.
Yeah, a brand new report from the investment bank Houlihan Lokey is pretty clear about this. The appetite for mergers and acquisitions is back. And you got to understand, this isn't just lawyers shuffling paperwork. This is companies making huge, expensive bets on each other, which is one of the strongest signs of confidence you can possibly find.
And look, this isn't just some vague feeling in the air. We've got the numbers to back it up. Just check out the trend in the first half of this year alone. We go from 80 deals back in January to nearly 100 by May. So what does that tell you? The momentum isn't just coming back, it's actually picking up speed.
So what's actually powering this comeback? Well, it's not just one thing. It's really this perfect storm of three huge trends: a revolution in how we use data, the explosion of AI, and, you guessed it, a pretty surprising comeback for crypto.
First, let's talk about data, because honestly, a massive cultural shift is happening right under our noses. 70%, that is the number of Americans who are now cool with sharing more of their financial data if it gets them a better deal on credit. This isn't just a number, it's the key that's unlocking a whole new wave of fintech innovation.
And what does that actually mean in the real world? Well, here it is. By using what's called alternative data, we're talking things like your rent payments or utility bills, not just old-school credit scores. Lenders can now score 19 million more adults in the U.S. for credit. That's not just some new market. That's a life-changing opportunity for millions of people.
Meanwhile, in a part of the market that a lot of people had completely written off, confidence is just flooding back. Venture capitalists poured almost $5 billion into crypto in the first quarter of this year alone. After the deep freeze of the crypto winter, it's clear the big money is betting on a serious thaw.
Okay, so let's put these pieces together. You've got this incredibly powerful AI that can finally make sense of these mountains of new data. And that data itself, especially that alternative credit data, has gone from being some niche experiment to a totally mainstream tool. This is the engine that's driving the whole industry forward.
All right, so these big picture trends sound great, right? But what does this stuff actually look like on the ground? To really see it in action, let's zoom in on one company that's just riding this wave perfectly: the digital investment platform, Webull.
Webull is just a fantastic case study here, because they're sitting right at the crossroads of all these trends. They offer this super sophisticated, tech-driven trading platform that's built for a whole new generation of investors.
And man, do their numbers tell a story. In the first quarter, the revenue is up a really impressive 32% over last year. But then look at the second quarter. That growth jumped to 46%. That's not just growth, my friends. That's accelerating growth. And that is exactly what gets investors excited.
And it gets even better when you dig into their Q2 results. Customer assets are up 64%. That number is all about user trust. Registered users are up 18%. That's their reach expanding. But the craziest number on here, the equity notional volume, which is basically just the total value of all the trades on their platform, is up a staggering 58%. People aren't just signing up, they are getting busy trading.
And then they played their trump card. Remember all that money flowing back into crypto we talked about? Well, Webull was definitely watching. This past July, they brought back crypto trading for all their U.S. customers. That is a direct, incredibly savvy move to tap into one of the biggest trends of the year.
Okay, Webull's story is awesome, for sure. But it's still just one company. To really prove that the whole sector is confident, we need to look at the ultimate test, the market's biggest bellwether, the IPO. And after years of tumbleweeds, the giants are finally lining up to go public again.
This quote from that same report, it just says it all, doesn't it? We are now seeing the fastest pace of IPOs in 4 years.
This is a massive vote of confidence, not just from the companies themselves, but from the entire investment world that's ready to pour money into them.
And listen, we're not talking about small fry companies here. These are the heavyweights of fintech. We're talking IPO filings from Chime, the huge digital banking service, and Circle, the company behind the massive USDC stablecoin. When the biggest and best-known names in the business make a move like this, it sends a crystal-clear signal. The market is healthy, and the time to grow is right now.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. We've got a rebounding market, we've got game-changing tech, and we've got this massive wave of investor confidence. When you put all those powerful pieces together, what does the future of finance actually start to look like?
See, this isn't just a lucky break or a random recovery. It's like we're seeing a whole new formula for success in finance. It all starts with a market rebound, which provides the fuel. Then you have tech, like AI and big data, acting as the engine, creating brand new opportunities. And the final piece is that surge of investor confidence, proven by all these big IPOs, that just puts the whole machine into high gear.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last big question. We've seen these forces totally transform lending and investing. But with this powerful new mix of capital, technology, and confidence, what part of your financial life is next on the list? Is it your mortgage? Your insurance? The fintech spring has absolutely arrived, and the seeds of the next big disruption are being planted as we speak.